Hello, everybody. This is Wrestling Discussion here. This is a YouTube wrestling channel that discusses professional wrestling. So, Collision from January 11th, the opening match Big Bill versus Adam Copeland. Now, this is somewhat interesting because the main feud of the show, the main feud of, I should say, the company right now that obviously has been started since World's End, is Rated FTR and the Death Riders. That's sort of the big feud on top of things right now. But they're doing something interesting on Collision where they're having Rated FTR feud with the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho's heel stable group. And, they had a 6-man tag on January 4th, which Rated FTR won. And it's going to be curious to see if after Rated FTR versus the Death Riders are done, whether or not they continue this and keep this going, since it'll already be cooked up and heated. Now, this opening match between Cope and Big Bill was pretty good. I think, when we look at Big Bill, he had that run with Enzo Amore, and he got fired from WWE for the Daniel Bryan, well, now Bryan Danielson, but then Daniel Bryan situation where I believe he attacked a Daniel Bryan midget lookalike on TV. He went off script and just sort of attacked him, thinking it would go over, and I guess he got fired soon afterwards for that. But, you look at him, and he's almost 7 feet tall, and he has a great look, and I think his in-ring work is just, going levels, is rising up levels now. He's really seemingly coming into his own. And he had a great match with Cope. I thought those two really did some physical stuff. I thought he looked good in it. The only part about the match I didn't like was early on, Big Bill was getting a lot of offense on Cope outside, sort of thing, right? And they got some offense on each other outside. Copeland rammed Big Bill's head into the announcer's table quite a few times while Jericho was losing his mind about it, right? And it was entertaining, but then Big Bill would turn it around and attack Cope and, drop him on the apron and, get some offense outside. But the only thing with that is, if you're watching it, you're kind of thinking, okay, these two have been outside for a long time. This should have been a double countout by now. That's the only part about the match that sort of felt suspect to me. Like, in a real world contest where being outside the ring for 10 seconds should result in a count out and thus end the match, both men were outside far longer than that. I think that was the only issue. I thought, Big Bill and Copeland both, put in a lot of good in-ring work. Their facial expressions were top-notch. This is something they took seriously. Big Bill especially took it seriously. He knew what a big opportunity this was. I think Cope did everything he could to make Big Bill look great. The finish would come. Copeland would hit a spear. Went for a 2 count. He then did something sort of heelish, but sort of like grizzled veteran sort of move where he pulled the referee behind him, made it look like it was an accident, like he was just sort of grabbing the referee and pulling him. Like, you could tell it was on purpose, but the way he did it was almost so sort of like accidental, like it just sort of happened within the context of the fight sort of thing. But he did that. He hit a low blow on Big Bill. Then he hit a spear. And then he hit a rear naked choke. And they tied the story back into Rated FTR. The story with Rated FTR and the Death Riders, the announcers tied it in by saying, this is out of the school of John Moxley. So they're definitely tying those stories in together. But Copeland would get the win with it. In came the Learning Tree to attack Copeland. FTR makes the save. The security comes in, breaks everything up. And I thought it was a good opening match. I thought, it's good because I'm watching it. It's on Sunday. And, first, because I remember last week's Dynamite trying to tune into Max to watch it, and it wasn't on, and then the next day it was on. So I'm trying to figure out that schedule AEW has with Max, but I'm watching Collision from Saturday night, January 11th, now on Sunday morning, afternoon, January 12th. But the opening match is pretty good. I liked it. I thought both men looked great. I thought both men really told the story they wanted to tell here. They're using this story between Rated FTR and the Learning Tree to tie it in with Rated FTR and the Death Riders. So where it goes from now, it'll be interesting to see. Either way, that's all for this one. Thanks.